I have another gouache painting book here. This one's called Painting in Opaque Watercolor by Rudy de Reyna. This was published in 1969, so it's a rather old book, but these older books actually have a better method of illustration often, and I got this book used off of Amazon. There's actually a lot of stuff that this book goes through, so it's actually mostly in black and white, and it has some pages in the end in color. It might be a little bit irksome that most of the pages here are in black and white. There's only a small color section at the end, but he does go through a lot of different methods, and it actually works out fine to learn gouache in a black and white before you get on to some color examples at the end. He does not use grisaille, but mostly he uses a mid-tone painting method, which you can learn in here, which is that you put your mid-tones down first, and then you put your darks, and then your lights down after that. So he does do that over and over again, so if you don't get that the first time, you will get it the next 20 times he shows you. There's a lot of detail in the words that he's writing on the side, and also in the words that he's showing underneath all of the pictures. He shows plenty of demonstration. He shows you how to use lots of different tools to get different textural effects with the gouache, and it really is the most thorough book on gouache that I've found so far. And it shows many different examples, from illustration to fine art to cartoony and, expressive and more sort of impressionistic, realistic landscapes. He shows people, shows everything pretty much. And again, it's a little bit dated in how he's explaining things because, it's an old book. But again, the instruction is really top-notch. It's a very, very good instructional book, very clear, and it will help you learn just about everything. So of all the gouache books I've looked at so far, this is my favorite. I would have to give it at least 4 or 4.5 stars. The other reason I like this book a lot is because it doesn't talk about airbrushing, it doesn't talk about inks, it doesn't talk about acrylics. This is just pure gouache the whole way through. So if you're looking for a book that teaches you how to use gouache and just gouache, this is the book for you. And it also shows you just about every texture and every kind of thing. People, animals, realistic, not realistic. So clothes, still lives. It has a lot to offer and very clear explanations and instructions. Of all the books that I've reviewed on gouache so far, this is my favorite. And here's the color section at the end that shows you a lot of examples in color. And he's a very sort of kind and generous teacher, and also just very informative. Painting in Opaque Watercolor by Rudy de Reyna, and I would recommend it if you are looking to paint in opaque watercolor. Incidentally, this book is a copy that I have. It's an old copy. I just got it to read and review it. I'm done reading it, and since I know most of the techniques in this book, if any of my subscribers wants this book, then if you email me your mailing address and you live in the United States, I will send this book to you book rate for free, because why not share some good instruction, because I don't need this book anymore. If anybody wants to contact me, that's fine. Keep in mind you have to be in the United States, and I only have one copy.